Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, sisters and brothers, it's a great pleasure to greet you today and to honor the work and the lifelong commitment to the ecumenical movement. It is also good to be able to say a few words on Father Professor Dr. Ioan Sauca. Father Ioan joined the WCC in 1994 as Executive Secretary for Orthodox Studies and Relationship in Mission. Since 1998, he served as Professor of Missiology and Ecumenical Theology at the Bosse Ecumenical Institute, and as its director from 2001 to 2022. A milestone of the Institute was the accreditation of all academic programs, of which Father Sauca worked closely with the Faculty of Protestant Theology at the University of Geneva. Under his directorship, the Ecumenical Institute became not only a unique place to study and live ecumenically, but also a living laboratory where distinctive academic methodologies were tested and developed. Father Sauca has always affirmed the holistic nature of theology and its intrinsic link with worship and spirituality, which is integrated in the wider reality of the Church and of the world. Under his leadership, Chateau de Bosse was completely renovated, and it received its reputation as a welcoming place for conferences and gatherings, a place where nature meets hospitality, spirituality, and an academic atmosphere. Father Sauca was elected as the first Orthodox to serve as the head of the WCC between March 2020 and December 2022. In the times of the pandemic, he led the work of the Council in equipping the world's churches to address the healthcare and pastoral challenges posed to minister in the presence of illness, death, and enormous disruption everywhere. Father Ioan rapidly assembled a WCC ministry support team to respond to many questions and concerns, drawing on the deep historical identification of churches and the WCC with health and healing. Father Ioan's leadership was inspired by a profound spirituality, nourished by a deep knowledge of the tradition of the Church. His Orthodox background helped him to bring new insights and perspectives on the theme of the last WCC 11th Assembly in Karlsruhe, Germany. He stressed the Trinitarian dimension of the Assembly theme, Christ's love moves the world to reconciliation and unity, as well as its cosmological relevance to our understanding of the entire creation and our approach to ecology. As thousands of Christians converged in Karlsruhe for the assembly, Father Ioan repeatedly affirmed that the Church's response to the hardships of our times needs to be rooted in the urgency of realizing that we need one another. We depend on one another, and we can advance only if we walk together, not separately. In his capacity as Acting General Secretary, he has strengthened the relationships of the WCC with the Eastern and Oriental Orthodox churches. He visited churches affected by war, conflicts, and tensions in Russia, Ukraine, Syria, and the Holy Land, being guided by a strong belief in the power of dialogue on the path towards reconciliation. He recognized that challenges facing the ecumenical movement today include dealing with tensions and divisions within the same family of churches instead of between families of churches. This makes a fundamental difference that the ecumenical movement needs to take very seriously into account. Finally, to quote Father Ioan himself, if there are still people who may have doubts about the holistic nature of theology and about the ecumenical formation, which is a life-transforming reality and growth into a new identity which assumes the richness and the otherness of the others, as expressed above and as lived in Bosse, I will gladly extend the invitation with the biblical and liturgical words, come and see. Those were the words of Father Ioan. I wish to acknowledge his great work in the World Council of Churches and also his work as an academic and scholar and his work with you. And we wish him well in the future.